Is it good to take ox bile to help digest fats? Depends on your circumstances. I have trouble digesting fats, grounded beef. I'm thinking about buying ox bile. Look, if I would actually try and find out what the issue is. Is it your biosynthesis that's the issue? Because it could be that, you know. Is it related to an issue with not enough stomach acid? Is it related to, so it could be a number of factors you need to investigate before you sort of jump on one bandwagon. So that could be an issue relating to gallbladder issues. And maybe you've got some genetic predisposition that you may require more choline to clear out, the bile, and also you may need things like MK4, which are also very important. So MK4 plays a big role in terms of biosynthesis. Then there's the enzyme side of things, which is also MK4 is involved in that, plus retinol a bit as a minor player. There's also things like milk thistle that can improve the functioning of the liver as well if there's some fibrotic material in there and things are not working properly. You may need to take some bile salts for a short amount of time because you may have lost some biles, and they do tend to get recycled at the bottom of the actual small intestine. And if you've actually had a lot of diarrhea in the past and a lot of other issues, gut related issues, you may have lost and need to add some back in. So there could be a number of issues in that regard. So I would try and find out, get a bit more information about what your state of affairs is with your gallbladder and stuff like that, before do a scan or something like that. You could also, under your rib cage, when you're actually consuming, you could actually put your hand right under the rib cage and massage it and all that, and see whether that provides some relief. Have you got some pain there or discomfort when you're eating? That could be a sign that there is some potential sludge or gallstones in there. It's a possibility. So sometimes some people get headaches. A lot of them are due to these sort of gallbladder issues, and it usually comes at around about the time, with having a meal and stuff like that, and then getting a headache. And if you sort of massage that area, the actual under your rib cage, not violently, but just mildly, just sort of massage it, it can actually relieve some of the actual tension there and all that, and allow the better flow into the ducts, and that can actually take away the headache as well. So yeah, you may have to investigate it a bit more before splurging out on money, this and that. Have a better understanding, because there is a protocol that I have for basically sort of clearing out a lot of that sort of stuff. There's a number of things like malic acid that softens the actual stones, and a few other things to utilize as supplementation to push get that moving. The whole thing is you want things to be moving in that area and clearing out. So yeah, just drop me an email. But yeah, I would investigate it a bit further. The more you know, the better. But it's a possibility, because you were saying here, but what is funny is how I digest cheese and raw heavy cream just fine. Yeah, look, that was, I've come across that experience with other people as well, where especially with raw stuff, where there is some of the enzymes, and some of the that can actually help to break down this sort of stuff, even though there may be an issue with the sort of inflammation around the ducts flowing through that part of your pancreas, and sort of interfering with some of that, those enzymatic processes, where some of this raw foods, have some of that stuff, and it may be that as an issue, and that may indicate to me that it potentially could be a gallbladder issue or sludge. Even if you've had some of the stones come out, you may have sludge that is creating issues as well. So it's really hard unless you've actually got you've done some tests to really know. I mean, I had certain issues. This was going back more than a year now, a year and a half, and I had to investigate it. And it took me some time. And I can tell you there were incidents going through the protocol where I had, loose stools or, different things. You tend to basically swing from a sort of a state where you're more, your stool becomes very hard or becomes very loose. And so, you go from this sort of constipated state to a diuretic state and then back again and all that. And I went through that, so that was really annoying in that regard. My father actually had stone, but that actually came out. He actually ended up with pancreatitis, but it literally cleared out at least much faster and gave him a lot of sort of relief. So he had a bit of inflammation for a couple of days, and then he was out of the hospital and he was fine. Didn't have to have his gallbladder actually removed either, which was great. And now he's, fantastic. He can, because now he's sort of more carnivorous recently. I mean, I've shown you guys at some videos, he's been consuming more dairy products, more meat and more fats and stuff like that in his diet, and not an issue whatsoever. And he's thriving. He's sort of sarcopenia has been reversed. Everything, is really getting better. So he's becoming stronger now at 85 than what he was in his mid-70s, that he was still declining. So a lot of it's being reversed now, which is good. So Dad's much stronger, and maybe he can get to his grandfather's age of 107. Who knows? But yeah, it just seems very a familiar story. So I did notice you said thanks. Look into it a bit more. Don't neglect it and suffer. There's no need to.